words.
So there's not enough lithium in the world for the world to go electric.
I find that hard to listen to, and at very least distasteful, if not repugnant, in my view.
I don't believe the public forum should be used for you to advertise your personal views. We are here to listen to people that present at the forum.
Hard to know where to go from there. I just
if we
want
can
to put it on
create a more prosperous city, then we'll have more of abundance around us, so it will actually bring the price of things down.
I believe the work is solid.
A real move to a better democracy or a rat bag system destined to cause political paralysis?
Thank you for joining us.
Got a new shirt. Looking like $1 million. With all the ideas to fix Dunedin, but not actually a candidate. Here we are. No? Wanging it. Man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. The big Jules. Alright. Hey, Dick Pullman. Coming live with the man with a plan to save Dunedin. I know we talked to Big Lee Van Division yesterday. He had a lot of ideas, but he's full of a lot of hot wind too. Coming guns blazing, talking about council spending and what is it, $12 parking ticket, and he's run it through the High Court for about $106,000 according to the ODT. That we just caught Jules, Mr. Jules Radich, can't remember, don't care.
Pronunciation option.
We just caught Jules making a little ad, buying some ad space from that old, they don't think they make a whole lot of money anymore, the ODT Smith and all that crowd, it's an old dinosaur paper, and he's got a bit of advertising space in there, and that'll definitely appeal to older people that read it, mate. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Let's have a talk. Well, all right, I don't know how much you want to answer. Yesterday I was Lee's quite conspiratorial, but also very professional, and I wanted to know, obviously there's a councillor that's signed off on the building warrant of fitness for in the Meridian, where Kmart was, and they've said that that's not earthquake proof, right?
Well, carry on with the rest of your question.
Okay, and then roughly it's about a week between it turned into a vaccination centre, so suddenly it was earthquake proof, and then it was just a Smith City. I didn't see anybody working in there, and then you just got to follow the paper trail, and I feel like that has something to do with Tyndall.
I can give you my take on it, which is that it looks to me like the Meridian had issues with the earthquake rating, so there's a bit of doubt about the earthquake rating on the Meridian. Right. And of course, you have got that central floor which is suspended.
Right.
It's
pretty good.
And so the different engineers have different opinions on the matter, and so hasn't fallen down any of the little earthquakes we have. We don't get any in Dunedin. You don't have to have as high a rating in Dunedin as you do in some other places. For example. So that's right. So it's not too bad, but they were looking. There's a general feeling that they might be looking to vacate anyway, because they're setting up in Queenstown. They've got other things going on. A new shop to deal with in Invercargill, and they
wanted the warehouse's location.
Yeah, that's right.
And Tyndall paid 3 years on the lease.
Well, then Tyndall blocked them out. Warehouse, Tyndall is more. They blocked them out because they didn't want them in the on-site. They've sold it to the ORC, so they're good.
Yeah, they've raised their prices up now if you go there, because they've got the monopoly on the same sort of store as Kmart.
I don't compare prices. No, I don't compare prices on stuff. But people anecdotally, I've heard people say that warehouse prices in Dunedin are dearer than other places. But I haven't seen any proof of that. One of the things that I do know about Dunedin is that Pack and Save is the cheapest supermarket in New Zealand. How about that?
Yeah.
So and where they are, they haven't got any competition, so I don't know how you explain that.
No, I don't know either. Oh, they have a countdown down the road. What else? Like, I see you've got a vested interest in groins.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
my
tell us
one,
more about the groins.
My one is the best one because that's the
Your
one.
groins the best.
Hey, you're gonna love this.
Yeah, no, I'm just up to all this mean shit, being the mean news anchor, going to Christchurch, probably some news up there. You can hear a cub in the background. Noisy naps. Sounds pretty average. Could be king.
New job, new me. Yay!
Akita.
People are not happy at the minute.
Good gosh.
Carry on.
So that's the one. So that's the one that survived. 1955, they rebuilt it, and there's still poles there. They're under the sand right now, but
they're important, man.
Yeah, they're all going to.
And all that sandbag is really important in keeping because like
worked for 100 years.
Yeah, and
1902 they built the first one.
Right.
So that's a pretty cool thing. So
there needs to be more than.
Well, we need to fix that one. Run a test, give it 5 years, put a camera on it for 5 years. You can interview the sand and see if it's moving according to how you want. And, we'll talk to all those, people in their swimsuits, and see how it's going out there. That would make great TV. I've seen stuff on YouTube with people in swimsuits and some of it looks pretty good. So you do that on a regular basis, that would win you a few viewers.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot more sand. It'd be right.
Hey, look, I saw you talking on a page, and it was like, I didn't really, I saw him, there was a graphic in the corner and it said invest in sand. Do you encrypt it? Maybe somebody else did that.
Somebody else might have.
I was like, he's talking on the beach about sand.
Sand's worth a lot of money in some parts of the world.
Not sand, it's like a crypto called sand.
Oh, is it?
Okay. Cryptocurrency, mate.
Anyway, I said it wasn't my own.
No, I thought it was yours.
Right over my head. It's into crypto. I think it's a good thing to invest in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin does.
If you got in early, hell.
It's still good. It still goes up and down. I mean, there's whole countries that run their economy on it. Anyway, Dunedin.
There's a hell of a lot of sand. Thousands of tons of sand have been excavated here in the last 2 days.
Good thing to invest. Some of it looks pretty good.
Groins.
Yeah, that would make great TV. Wellington, you're a Wellington guy.
I was a leader yesterday. I tried to talk parliamentary politics and central government politics, and for me, he just shut me down. He's like, I don't even listen to that shit. I was like, well, this guy loves to do.
Some of the things they say and do are important to us because at the end of the day, they control the government money. So I want some of the money for
where are you on Three Waters?
Oh, no, I'm against Three Waters.
Yeah.
But I got a solution,
What's the solution?
National regulation, catchment administration, and local ownership.
Awesome. And I don't like another controversial question is how do you feel about these? I mean, this one, you don't want to say. How do you feel about unelected officials on the council? Because unelected and democracy don't really belong in the same sentence, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's a pretty nuanced debate.
Yeah.
And so from where I sit, jury's still out. Well, it remains to be seen.
Right.
And so, you've got a certain section of the population which has been disenfranchised. And, from their point of view, a whole lot of their land was stolen, their rights were stolen, treaties not been honoured. So, it is a matter of having some redress.
But it's not like Maoris, for example, didn't already have voices in the council. It's just that iwi didn't. But
there's a difference. There's actually a difference between mana whenua and tangata whenua.
That's true. And what do they call it? Manakitanga and
Mata waka.
Yeah. Tangata whenua, mana whenua. Yeah, you're right.
There is a difference. So, the mana whenua, do feel the loss quite deeply, and they do have this deep association with the place and with the things that they used to be able to do and enjoy with the place that has been taken from them. Yet that was promised to them at the time of the treaty. So it's a pretty significant issue. And of course, the locals here have got the advantage. They've got a list of everything. All of the traditional fishing grounds and places they used to hang out and gather food. in Otago Southland. So that's a pretty cool thing for them to have, because they can go back and say, hey,
absolutely. I don't know a whole lot about Māori property law, to be honest.
Yeah, well, there's Maori owned land there's Maori leasehold land, and there's not much other leasehold land, but there is Harbour Board leasehold land.
Right. How does that work?
Well, they reclaimed it. The Harbour Board reclaimed the land, so instead of selling it after they reclaimed it, they just lease it.
Okay.
Because they made the land. They plucked it out of, fresh salt water.
Okay, got you. There's another really important issue of young people that I asked Lee, but we didn't really get into it yesterday because we were just talking about other stuff. A lot of the venues and the vibrance in the city's going downhill because of all these apartments that are being built in the CBD. And if you're talking about like around the industrial area, there's a lot of noise. So, for example, I bought a house in, I don't know, Jervois Street, or, one of those streets down there, the harbour.
Yeah, Jervois Street. I live in Jervois Street.
Yeah, okay. So I live right next to like an engineering building. And I call up the council and I say, hey, look, there's noise pollution. The council's going to say, get fucked.
No.
You bought it, surely.
No, look, they're
I don't believe that.
They're policing noise on a regular basis. So they came over here to the Southern Festival last weekend and checked on the noise, policed the noise.
Okay, but where I was going...
is it? It's okay.
For music.
Yeah, so music can get away with whatever they like. Industrial, noisemakers are highly regulated.
I don't believe that. We've had so many venues shut down because of noise complaints. So,
you named the top two.
Name top three?
Yeah, well, top three venues that have
top three venues have been shut down. Starters, gone.
It's not because of noise.
Gardies, gone.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
Not because of noise. Gardies,
Crown's about to close.
Well, maybe.
It's going to happen. Jam Jar, Carroll Street, Jam Jar, just endless noise complaints because it's residential almost, but it's bordering on CBD. Used to be the Rugby Hotel, gone.
Oh yeah. Do
you want some more?
No, well,
and now they've moved it all into the Octagon.
So Crown's still going.
Yeah, but it's going to go.
The Starters Bar, I don't think it was to do with noise. It was due to someone wants to redevelop the hotel. It's too hard with the earthquake risk, so they want to knock it down and redevelop it. It's money.
Yeah, but it's always money. Of course it's money. Of course it's money, though.
You're talking about resource consent for residential buildings next to noise, pre-existing noise venues. I mean, this is a significant issue. So, and the thing is, you're not going to solve it with a meeting or in the course of, one video interview.
No, we're not trying to solve it. We want to hear what you think about it.
No, I want to come up with a solution. Awesome. So, really, there's three things, to my mind, that need to be dealt with. One is sound insulation on music venues to stop the sound getting out. Number two, the sound insulation on inner city apartments to stop the sound coming in where people are living. And number three is regulations on how much noise you can make until what time. Because I always understood, and I was given to understand that you could make quite a lot of noise up to 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. And I've only recently found out that is not the case. You're not allowed to make a whole heap of noise at 9 o'clock at night. And I think that's crazy in the inner city. And so I think we need to have, firstly, the stakeholders meeting of all these parties involved and have those on there'd be quite a lot of thrashing out, but a consultation amongst the stakeholders so that you can get people towards a consensus, get around the same table. And then you have in the first place a protocol of this is how it's going to be in the inner city. The inner city is devised as out to here, say. And I mean, I would think the inner city, you could say from rectangle from the University Union to the Exchange, and a rectangle from there sort of thing. Yes, and that's the same as where my loop bus is going to go, which is providing free transport for students.
Oh, that needs to be done.
And so you have there's the inner city defined, and you can say, well, okay, you're allowed to make 150 or 120 decibels to, 11 o'clock at night, and after that you've got to get down to 90 decibels or some such thing. at a distance from the venue, and no complaints will be entered into because that's fair and reasonable. And you're in the inner city, and one of the stated goals, stated visions for the city, from Team Dunedin is vibrant. So we say we want the city to be welcoming, vibrant, and sustainable. So you can't have a cool inner city place to live. You can't have a cool inner city residential neighbourhoods without the vibrancy of a bit of excitement, and that's what people want in the city. So nighttime venues, music, dancing stuff is good in my opinion. What about the city's more welcoming to people, so we're more likely to attract people who want to come and live here because it's a buzzy place. And
my band's playing.
There you go.
Pedestrianisation. What do you think?
Dunedin as a city markets itself in the same category as many of the famous music cities around the world, and we don't see that kind of support for the music scene in the town. It's a bit of a hypocrisy to bank on the culture of this city and its music heritage whilst not actively trying to support the current music scene within the city. We need to get the roadblocks out of the way. We need to stop fighting for our survival.
Can you talk about...
Groins.
I don't care about the crown.
Yeah, but the 2GP. Got variation 2 happening now, and then we're on to variation 3 because the 2GP didn't allow enough potential for development and housing, and so we now got everything constricted. So prices in Dunedin went crazy through the roof, and now some land will be freed up, so we'll be able to get some housing going on. So it's relatively short-sighted in a lot of ways.
How do you feel about pedestrianisation? Would you have done?
I like walking.
Yeah.
No, but pedestrianisation on George Street, it's gone too far.
Yeah.
Making it one way and making it so pedestrianised is wrong, because if you look at Wellington Prison, Cuba Street, 10 times the national rate of street crime.
Yeah, well,
and cheap shops,
it's horrible. Down towards where the traffic is.
Cheap shops, high crime.
Well, you shouldn't have it. Councillor Vandiver said Bath Street, and I thought that was a great idea because it has virtually no traffic. It's not going to create congestion. It would cost very little to make that pedestrianised.
Yeah, but what's the point?
Because you can have malls and you can look. Nobody.
We've got a pedestrianised mall already. You got Meridian, Golden Street, Wall Street. That's all pedestrianised undercover.
You're only saying that because you've had business owners cry to you about their books. Look, nobody.
What's the point of George Street?
Well, nobody goes, hey, I really need some shortbread and some tartan. I want to park right out and go to the Scottish shop.
They do. That's what they say.
Oh, you're dreaming.
Anyway, moving on.
Where are you going? Like, where have you been today? Lee Vander was with old folks home last time.
Yeah, I went to talk to old people in Mosgiel today.
Okay, how'd that go? What do they want?
They want me for me.
Well, I'm liking the cut of your jib so far.
You know?
I'm liking the cut of your jib so far. I'm fucking you so bad.
Well, because I'm going to do stuff. Because I listen.
Yeah, you do.
All right, so I've been listening to what you've been telling me.
You do.
And I've got some answers. I've had to come up with actual things because I've had a lifetime of business. I was 20 years.
One election cycle, though. You've been councillor for one election cycle.
So what? How much do you think it needs?
Not much.
Do you think you want me to turn into an old crusty old woman councillor? No, I want to do some stuff and make some things happen.
So you don't. Okay, tennis balls.
Well, he's Dunedin's most notorious bully. And,
he was a bully when he was a teacher, mate.
That's right. He's still a bully now. Did you look at the council meeting that was a few months ago when it was on Zoom? As soon as something came up as soon as somebody said something he didn't like, it mute.
Three waters. It's coming from my Anyway, how do you feel about the stadium, man? I want to know that.
Stadium? Well, I think, it's still underutilised potential.
Yeah.
We've got Terry Davies down there. He's doing a phenomenal job. We've had some great acts.
So
Well, some stuff, but it's quite a negotiation to get them to come down here.
we need
because
promoters.
We don't have a big enough airport to land a big, 747.
Hadn't thought about that.
Well, it makes a big difference because then you can land in Christchurch, truck it all down here, truck it all back.
Why are we spending money on fucking vanity projects then? How much was that? 130,000 for his fucking mate, Hawkins' mate, to bend some. I could have done that for $5.
There was a poll on Facebook I saw where they said for the 130,000, would you sooner have poles on the beach to bring the beach back, groins on the groins, or stars on the dam? You choose. Yeah, mate. It was 98% said for the poles.
Yeah.
Sand on the beach or stars on the dam.
Well, look at it this way. I know quite a lot about the water infrastructure out there.
Cool.
The Tahuna plant, the Tainui plant has to pump uphill. Yeah.
Oh, Tainui has to pump uphill?
Tainui's Rona Street, that pumps uphill. Sure. Okay. So all the water tables around there is really high. And if, say, there was an earthquake or a flood, all of that wastewater that's pumping uphill out to that pipe, fucking all of South Dunedin's flooded in wastewater. If we had this, my friend works for Three Waters and used to work in that station. Don't tell me no.
They got backup pumps.
Yeah, they have a couple. It's just two big pumps that go uphill though.
Yeah.
And that's why we had those floods. How many years ago?
No, there's not what we had. Rainfall.
Okay,
it was rainfall.
Yeah.
It was rainfall. Yes.
Yeah.
And
like I'm saying,
Tainui
didn't fill up too high.
Tainui is the lowest place.
But why do you think all around Rona Street didn't flood? Because that's where the station that pumps uphill is. The rest of it over and St Clair was fucked.
Yeah, that's right. Have you read? You didn't read. You know that thing that I've just.
I don't read anything about you, Gil. Only that you like groins.
So the thing, in addition to the groins, which will protect South Dunedin from the sea, also on that same bit of paper that you were looking at when I was getting ready for the ODT tomorrow was better pipes and more pumps.
Good, better water infrastructure. Because I don't know the state of it. We had lead in the water in South
Dunedin streets where we need a pump.
Okay.
Right, to pump it into the inlet. So when the stormwater comes down, I'm just you asked talking about pumps and that Tainui going
back to pumps in.
Pumps.
Water infrastructure. Lead in the water. South Pacific. North Pacific.
There was no lead in the water. Well, there was no lead in the water supply. It was lead at the end of the pipeline after it had been through the old.
Okay. Because I was thinking maybe it's suction dredges from McRae's or something like that.
Absolutely not.
So the water infrastructure is okay.
No, the McRae's test their water every day and they've been doing it for years and there is no lead. There's no lead in the reservoir, there's no lead down the river.
But you know water's
no lead in the water
supply. Tap water would be good.
Because all of those
good water, Jules. Groins water.
I just make this one thing because I'm deputy chair of infrastructure. See? Deputy infrastructure, I don't know if you know that. Anyway,
come on.
So this is why I know about water. Anyway, all of that water, there was no water, there was no lead. For all the testing done at Waikaiti, there was no lead ever in the water at the pub. Most important. So that way your ice and the water's never got any lead in it. But all of the infrastructure, all the pipework to get to the pub at Waikaiti has been renewed long since. And so it's all plastic.
I mean, they're all on emergency water.
No, it's all back to the water supply. And it's getting upgraded. So the one thing it did find out, it hurried up the upgrade. It's a good thing for Waikaiti in a perverse sort of way. Because
so you did your job, you're saying?
No, it's perverse. Because we sent out the tanker trucks from Dunedin to give them, town supply from the tanker truck whilst, it couldn't. Yeah, that's right. But what happened is they all taste the water from the tanker truck and say, hey, this is a whole lot better than ours. Get our water fixed. And so council has now ramped up the water supply, water treatment plant. So that's on fast track now.
All right.
So
that's good.
This is perverse. Well, it's a good outcome. But
they looked pretty fucking terrified, mate. And Hawkins didn't even take the stage. She was on swaying on his phone. Yeah. He got booed and I thought, oh, yeah. I'm going for water that needs to read. Important stuff. Water, kids. Vote. Water. Vote. Hey.
Surely it can't be that. Common. Bloody hell, God. Hey. Yeah.
come on. Shut up, yo. You think you've answered everything, Pippa?
No.
You need some gold in your teeth, mate. That look like a real
you just need to, what are you interested in?
What am I interested in?
Yeah.
Pestering politicians, drinking water.
I've had my share of parking tickets, stick some money in the meter.
Yeah, well, he needs gold in his too. He's like a real
I believe in crypto.
Thousands of tons of sand.
He's a life coach or something, business coach, mate.
Business coach, yeah. There's a role to play for blockchain. These cryptocurrencies, where someone invents something as a notional thing, and then it does stimulate a whole lot of speculation, and the price ramps up because there's a control on the supply. The supply is just plucked out of thin air.
Yeah.
That does add up to gold in the teeth or some sort.
Venezuela run their whole country off of it.
Yeah, well, because the currency tend to trust it, So it does open the door to blockchain and alternative currencies. The big speculation on cryptocurrency is, I'm not putting my money in it, put it that way. And I think building a Bitcoin generating plant right beside the Clyde Dam with the surplus electricity of both Roxburgh and Clyde to pump the sand. So suck the sand out of the dam where it's accumulating at the head of the river and pump it over the dam so that it comes down the Clutha and regenerates the beaches down around Coca Point and so on, the mouth of the Clutha, because there is a lot of sand now being eroded away because it's not coming down the Clutha. Yeah,
okay, sure.
And agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous.
Well, he's got a 6-point safety plan for students. So you think?
Okay, well, because I was alerted after going down to the university and interviewing a few students, I was alerted to the fact that there's a lot of violence and sexual harassment going on at university. So I come up with a 6-point student safety plan, number one of which is already in part of my infrastructure and integrated transport strategy, which is the loop bus between the university library and the exchange, so that students can get home safely at night on the loop bus. It'll be free and quick, so you can get into town, go to the Octagon or wherever, any other venues, including the Crown, and back to the University Union, quick and easy and safely. So that's number one. I like to try and think of them all now, but number two was to have increased accountability when perpetrators of, sexual assaults and violence on the campus, so that they're followed up on and they are held to account. And number three is having better lighting in some of those streets like Leeds Street North and Castle Street North. If you go on Dundas Street, it's got good lights, but as soon as you get those side streets, they're too dull. Yeah. So, and it's actually quite dark and gloomy down there. And so that's where a lot of bad stuff happens. So it's a pretty easy fix. Council can fix that in a twinkle just by changing the bulbs, those LEDs. Yeah. So there's that. We need more venues. We need more music, more entertainment in the student area. Because the university has bought up a couple of the pubs, the Bowling Green and the Gardies, for instance. And so they've shut them down thinking, oh, well, that's going to stop student drinking. All that's done is put student drinking into flats, and now you have big flat parties, and they're buying cheaper booze and getting more plastered, which is causing more. They can regulate it back then. That's right. So by going to the pub and paying for live music, so you're going to have to start with a cover charge because people will they find it difficult to adjust to buying alcohol from the bottle store quite cheaply or the supermarket, and then they go to the pub and it's 3 times the price. There's a bit of an adjustment there. So by charging a cover charge so that people are paying for live music, so we nurture the appreciation of live entertainment, and so people pay a cover charge, and then you can afford to sell them cheaper alcohol once they're in there. That will drive a resurgence of entertainment venues in the student area, but not only the student area, but around town. And so that people want to go and be entertained, and that'll provide money for musicians and safe venues for people to party up and get home safely. And so you got a whole lot of bored people out there that get plastered at the party, and they go outside, and the ones that are good at violence want to do violence. So you get them in, and maybe they learn to dance and have more fun at a live music venue.
Oh, I love it.
So what number am I up to now?
Oh, I don't know, mate. No,
20, yeah.
All right, yeah, that's bloody good. That's bloody good. Oh well, that's good. That's half his bloody safety plan. He can tell.
The only one he has.
He can tell the student. I need to go, bro.
Mandy's calling. Mandy's a lot more entertaining than me, so I'm done. But rest assured, I've got practical plans for everything, and then I shop them around, and then we make it happen.
Yes,
there you go.
Bloody good. I'll see you at the next election cycle. You'll see me again.
It's only this one.
Fine.
It's all happening this time.
You reckon you're going to be mute? I reckon you got a bloody good stick.
Well, I hope so, but we'll wait and see.
Yep. We'll see.
Anyway. You had an interesting question. It's all right. I'm glad to participate. Hope someone watches it. It's all good. See ya. See ya.
This is about as nasty as it's been. We had some bands like this last night, and then the eyeball this morning we heard out on TV. It was a dark hit. Raucous night at the hotel.
Everyone's been asking about the stars at the reservoir, and I was just thinking the representatives of some of the stars on the council. Hurrah! Stars, all of us. O'Malley, Gary, Walker. It's just a wee in-joke. Kakite! Yay!
That's our show. Thank you for joining us.
This has been New Zealand.
Well, look at me, get the skies again. Tennis balls, it'll say something real sexist on the Zoom calls.
Yeah. It's definitely like a pretty boisterous kind of like fucking full on cunt sometimes, and he's pretty good like these days and shit. Like, obviously he's like on a pretty good level, but at the same time, like he's always just trying to fucking kind of goes like says my name and then tries fuck He's just like boom. It's just like boom, boom. Just kind of goes like fuck Another mate of mine and the chick he's been seeing with there, and it's fuck especially if the ladies are like it, like the chicks are like kind of like, especially my flatmate's chick he's been seeing was just like it's pretty funny. Shut up.
Yeah. He's got leverage between two.
Don't judge me till you know me. I